Hello, how you doing? It's Phil Thatch, and today I'm hanging around in downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I'm experimenting with a type of photography that I really like, but on the other hand, it makes me very uncomfortable, and that is street photography. I haven't done it in a while. I always end up enjoying it when I do it, but kind of the idea of taking photographs of strangers in public places is a little disconcerting to me, but again, I do enjoy it. Today, I'm going to be using my Canon R7 and the kit lens, which is an 18 to 150, which is great for street photography, I would think, because it has a whole lot of range, 28.8 full frame equivalent all the way up to, I think, 240. I may have that math wrong. If it is wrong, I'll put the right numbers on the screen. But anyway, I'm walking around with the camera and taking pictures of whatever I can find. I've already taken a picture of a couple of people as they were walking, and I don't know if I'll branch out from pictures of people walking to something else, but that's where I've started. One of my favorite subjects to photograph is just someone out walking, and here's this girl. She's out walking her dog, and it looks like she's being a responsible dog owner. It looks like she's carrying a bag of dog poop. Here's a gentleman out walking. I thought his bright red hat was pretty cool as he was walking along in downtown Chattanooga. And on the next shot, I found a pretty good sized puddle, and I made a reflection shot of the dome building and that church steeple. The rest of the church is gone. The steeple is the only thing left. And as I continued to walk around, I found another crossing the street sort of a situation. I think that shots of this variety are interesting to look at and to make. I found this crazy spot. I'm almost completely surrounded by parking garage, but it almost feels like I'm in a dungeon down here. You got this old construction that's kind of shored up with some much more modern framing. Almost looks like they're going to do something with it. I don't really know, but I made a shot looking up this alley right as somebody walked by, so that shot might be pretty cool. I found what looks like probably someone's break area. It's a gallon tea jug that's been refilled with water, and looks like somebody likes to smoke Marlboro menthol cigarettes and use that bottle as his ashtray. Here is the shot looking up the alley with the bright light on the outside and this gentleman walking by. One of my favorite shots of the day for sure, this alley shot. And speaking of taking a break, these fellas are doing some construction work in downtown Chattanooga, and it's right around lunchtime, so they appear to be on their lunch break, and all of them are enjoying their phones. I made a panning blur that I was pretty happy with, and I was in electronic shutter, and I noticed that I had rolling shutter distortion in the background, so I had to switch to mechanical and reshoot. Here's the panning blur. After I switch the camera back into mechanical shutter mode, I always use 1/40th of a second for panning blurs. I've just learned that that's the best shutter speed for me. And here is a gentleman walking up that same hill. The building is level, but the hill is not level. And he's enjoying a soda as he walks up the hill. I like the reflection in this shot. And this is about a block or two away from there. This gentleman was walking around downtown Chattanooga, and I think he was lost. He really looked at his map and his directions on his phone for quite some time. Well, I'm continuing to walk around and make photos. I'm having a pretty good morning of it. Or maybe it's afternoon now. I've lost track of time. But I've made it all the way down to Miller Plaza, and I'm going to keep working. At Miller Plaza, at lunchtime on a Thursday in downtown Chattanooga, they had a thing going on called Noon Tunes, and I was lucky enough to stumble along, and using the R7, I made a quick clip of the great Lon Eldridge. In Chattanooga, and it seems that I can see that's still the oh, and it's still shining bright, yes, through those tall pine trees for me. Where the mockingbird sings its sweet song. I continued to walk around the area, and I stumbled across this guy who was walking these two beautiful French bulldog puppies, which I had to get this picture just so I could take it home and show Heather, and she loved it. Then I saw this Porsche Cayman, I think it is, parked there on the side of the road, and looks like this driver has received a parking ticket under its wiper blade. Here's a restaurant that's kind of open air there near Miller Plaza and Community Pie. These folks were studying the menu and preparing to place their order. And also near there is a little area where people can socialize and enjoy an open air area with some shade and some conversation. Lots of things to do in downtown Chattanooga. This is the first time I've been down here to Patton Parkway since they completed the work that they started probably a year or two ago. And I found this really interesting looking statue art thing that they call Radiance. It's 3 of these cone looking things sticking up, and they are very reflective. I don't know if you can see that in the video. And they all basically join there in the top. It's really pretty. I like it. Here is another alley photograph there very near Patton Parkway. This one has a nice little stream running down through it, and I was able to capture some people as they walked by the middle of the alley. Here's a rather eclectic group of people that were walking down the street there near Patton Parkway. I thought it was kind of an interesting photograph to capture this trio as they walked. And this may be the best photograph of the day. Heather said it was her favorite. This girl walking across the street, lots of leading lines, and you can see the hills of Chattanooga in this shot. This is another alley, and there was a gentleman at the end of the alley, and I was going to walk down the alley and get his shot because he wasn't moving, and then I had to get out of the way of this SUV, and then this other gentleman had to help that gentleman who almost got hit by the SUV. He was just right in the way. Here's a couple of gentlemen that were all the way down in West Village. I've traveled a long way now, and they are eating and having conversation, and then I captured a photograph of this solitary gentleman as he was alone with his thoughts and walking down the road in Chattanooga. I have walked a lot today. I'm all the way down. I started at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, and now I'm all the way down at West Village, which is several blocks away. And I'm starting to get a little tired and a little careless. And I think what I'm going to do is put my camera up for a little while and ride one of these Chattanooga bicycles around. I may head down to the aquarium and then dock that bicycle and do some photography down there. So I will rejoin you in a little bit. All right, mission accomplished. I rode the Chattanooga bicycles all the way from West Village down to the parking garage near the aquarium. And now I'm going to get the R7 back out and get back to work. As soon as I parked my Chattanooga bicycle, I found these 4 people riding Chattanooga bicycles. For some reason, I was at 1/60th of a second, so only the main one is sharp. All the rest of them have motion blur, and it turned out kind of cool. I'm up here now on the John Ross Market Street Bridge, and I came up here once before and made a panorama shot of the Walnut Street pedestrian bridge, which is just a little ways upstream here on the Tennessee River. And I didn't have a wide enough lens that day, but because this 18 to 150 has such great range, I decided to go ahead and make a panorama. I've got kind of the light going in the right direction, not exactly. It'd probably be better about 2 or 3 hours from now, but I'm not here 2 or 3 hours from now. I'm here right now. So I set the camera on manual, including manual white balance. So as I made my exposures of the bridge going across, none of that would change. And if that stitches together worthwhile, this handheld panorama, I'll show it to you right now. Here's the panorama. It was 19 shots that I made, handheld, and I just followed the bridge across with the camera and made my 19 shots, took them home, put them in Lightroom, and stitched them together, and it looks like the kit lens can do panoramas too. I'm a member here at the Tennessee Aquarium, so I thought while I have a little bit more time to kill today, I'd come up into the aquarium with the 18 to 150 just for a quick moment and take a couple pictures on the top floor in the Ocean Journey building. Today's video started out being kind of street photography with the 18 to 150, and now it's kind of look at all the different kinds of photography you can do with the 18 to 150. I spent about 3, maybe 5 at the most minutes in the butterfly garden here at the Ocean Journey building at the Tennessee Aquarium. It turns out that the RFS 18 to 150 is a great semi-macro lens. I really enjoyed photographing these butterflies with it, and I learned today that it has a maximum magnification of 0.44 to 1, which is more than the RF 100 to 500, which is a really good butterfly lens, and more than the RF 100 to 400, which is an even better butterfly lens. It has nearly as much magnification as the RF 35mm lens, which is rated as macro, and the RF 85mm lens, which is rated as macro. Those are both rated at 0.5 to 1 magnification. So this lens is very close at 0.44 to 1. It's nowhere near as much as the 1.4 to 1 magnification of the real macro lens. After I left the aquarium, I was walking back to the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga campus, and while I was on a bridge, I leaned over and took a picture of this gentleman who was out for a run. This is what happens when you try to take a picture of a man going by on a scooter and you accidentally knock the camera all the way into video mode. While I was walking around, I ran into my buddy Ray, and Ray is all over the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, and he took me inside Patton Chapel. I don't have a tripod with me, but another experiment with the 18 to 150 kit lens. I came all the way back here to the back of the chapel and made a handheld shot, and hopefully it turns out okay, and if so, we'll look at that right now. I held the camera as level as I could and made this 18mm shot at only 1/40th of a second. So I'm saying that the stabilization in the lens and camera combined to do a nice job helping me keep this shot clear. All right, that's going to do it for me today from all over Chattanooga. I think I got like 20,000 steps in today, and really enjoyed using the R7 and the 18 to 150 kit lens. I think it's a great all-around lens, and worth picking up as a kit if you buy the R7. I think this is a worthwhile purchase. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell. Bye-bye.